Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we take you to the heart of San Antonio, Texas, for a gripping and heartbreaking story. The disappearance of Andrine McDonald, a brilliant entrepreneur, a devoted mother, and a rising star in her community. On one fateful morning, when she failed to show up, a routine day turned into a chilling mystery. What began as a missing persons case unraveled into a complex investigation, exposing dark truths hidden within the walls of a seemingly perfect home. Was it an abduction, an accident, or a crime concealed by a web of lies? Join us as we follow the clues, analyze the evidence, and uncover the shocking reality behind a case that stunned an entire city. Stay with us. The story begins now. The disappearance and murder of Andrine McDonald, an extended true crime saga. A star in the San Antonio sky. In the quiet, manicured streets of an upscale gated community in San Antonio, Texas, the early morning of March 1st, 2019, began like any other. The sun had yet to rise, but the absence of one woman would soon cast a shadow over the city. Andrine McDonald, a 29-year-old Jamaican-born entrepreneur, devoted mother, and philanthropist, was missing. Her disappearance was not just a mystery, it was an anomaly that defied everything known about her disciplined, purpose-driven life. This is the story of Andrine's vanishing, the relentless investigation that followed, and the haunting truth that emerged, a tale woven with ambition, love, betrayal, and a violence that shattered a family and a community. The woman who had it all. Andrine McDonald was a beacon of the American dream. Born in Portland, Jamaica, she grew up in a modest household where dreams of a better life burned brightly. Her childhood friend, Mandy, recalls their shared aspirations. We didn't have much, but we knew America was where we could make something of ourselves. At 19, Andrine's life changed when she met Andre McDonald, a charismatic captain in the U.S. Air Force, during his visit to Jamaica for a funeral in May 2009. Their connection was immediate, sparked by shared roots and mutual ambition. Within months, they married, and Andrine moved to San Antonio, ready to build a new life. In America, Andrine's drive found its outlet in Starlight Homes, an assisted living business she founded at just 22. With Andre's financial support, he liquidated his 401k and sold his BMW to fund her vision. The business grew from a small operation with 3 residents to a multi-million-dollar enterprise with 2 locations. Andrine's leadership was marked by compassion. She was known for personally ensuring her residents' comfort and for her generosity, often distributing food to the less fortunate. She wasn't boastful, Mandy says. She was humble, always giving back. Andrine's personal life was equally vibrant. She and Andre welcomed their daughter, Elena, who became the center of Andrine's world. Their home was filled with laughter, and to outsiders, they were the perfect couple, successful, attractive, and deeply in love. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming, ones that would only become visible in the wake of a tragedy. Andrine's daily routine was a testament to her discipline. At 5:30 a.m., she was at the gym, treating her workouts with near-religious fervor. By 8 a.m., she was in the office, steering Starlight Homes with precision. Her employees admired her consistency. She was never late, never absent. So, on March 1st, 2019, when she didn't arrive at work, alarm bells rang. Calls to her phone went to voicemail. A call to the gym confirmed the unthinkable. Andrine hadn't shown up. For a woman who lived by routine, this was a red flag that something was terribly wrong. The alarming absence. Andrine's employees wasted no time. They contacted her mother, Maureen, who lived nearby and was a pillar of strength in Andrine's life. Maureen rushed to the McDonald home, her heart pounding with dread. What she found was chilling. Andrine's purse was on the counter, her keys were in their usual spot, and her vehicles were parked in the driveway. But Andrine was gone. The only item missing was her phone, a detail that deepened the mystery. Her purse, her keys, her cars, everything was there, Maureen later recalled, her voice trembling. But my daughter was not. Maureen alerted the Behar County Sheriff's Office, and within minutes, deputies arrived at the McDonald residence in the upscale Stone Oak neighborhood. Sheriff Javier Salazar, a seasoned lawman, took charge. The house, typically a picture of order, showed subtle signs of disturbance. In the bathroom, deputies found blood on a wall and strands of hair on a light switch, an unusual and ominous combination. In the backyard, a meticulously landscaped area was marred by a random burn pile, where investigators discovered a zipper from a blouse later identified as Andrine's. These clues suggested something far more sinister than a voluntary disappearance. As deputies processed the scene, Andrine McDonald returned home. A major in the Air Force with top-secret security clearance, Andrine was a cyber warfare analyst at Lackland Air Force Base. He presented himself as a concerned husband, explaining that he had taken Elena to school that morning before heading to work. Upon learning of Andrine's absence, he said he rushed to a nearby hospital, acting on a hunch that she might have sought treatment for her chronic migraines. Surveillance footage captured Andrine at the hospital, asking about a patient named McDonald. But when deputies called to verify, they learned the patient was not Andrine. Andrine's explanation, that he returned home without seeing the patient because he forgot his phone, didn't sit right with investigators. Sheriff Salazar pressed Andrine for details about the previous night. Andrine described coming home from a tax preparer's office with Andrine, where they argued about their business. He said he left to get gas and cool off, a claim corroborated by video evidence from a Shell station. Upon returning, he said they slept in separate bedrooms. But what Andrine omitted was a heated text exchange that occurred while he was at the gas station, a conversation that would soon reveal a marriage on the brink of collapse. A marriage in turmoil. Investigators gained access to Andrine's phone and uncovered a series of text messages that painted a starkly different picture of the McDonald's marriage. The exchanges were laden with accusations of infidelity. Andrine warned Andrine that if he mentioned Aubrey Hall, a businessman from Jamaica, and her ex-boyfriend, again, she would file for divorce. Andrine responded dismissively, accusing Andrine of bringing Aubrey into their lives. "I don't care if you get a divorce," he texted. "You brought Aubin into our life." Aubrey Hall was more than a name from Andrine's past. According to her friend Mandy, he was her first love, a relationship that began when she was a teenager in Jamaica. In 2017, during one of Andrine's philanthropic trips to Jamaica, they rekindled their romance. The affair remained secret until the summer of 2018, when Andrine got 2 tattoos, an A on her hand and a date on her wrist, corresponding to Aubrey's initials and birthday. Andrine, growing suspicious, scoured social media and found a photo of Aubrey with an identical tattoo. The discovery was a betrayal that cut deep. Enraged, Andrine demanded Andrine cover the tattoos, cut contact with Aubrey, and never travel to Jamaica without him. Fearing the loss of Starlight Homes and a divorce, Andrine complied, but the damage was done. The trust between them was shattered, and their arguments grew more frequent and intense. WhatsApp messages shared with friends revealed disputes over who deserved credit for Starlight Homes' success. Andrine insisted it was her vision and drive, while Andrine felt sidelined, his contributions overlooked. "Starlight Homes is my idea, my dream," Andrine wrote in one message. "It would not have happened without me." Friends began to worry. Andrew Russell, a close friend of Andrine's, recalled a disturbing incident in December 2018, just months before Andrine's disappearance. During a Christmas party at the McDonald home, he found Andrine and Andrine grappling on the kitchen floor. The next morning, they laughed it off, but Andrew felt uneasy. The situation had become toxic, he later told investigators. The once idyllic image of the McDonalds as a power couple was unraveling, replaced by a narrative of jealousy, betrayal, and escalating conflict. The investigation takes shape. As the forensic team confirmed the blood in the bathroom belonged to Andrine, the case shifted from a missing persons investigation to a potential crime scene. The burn pile, the blood, and the missing phone pointed to foul play, and Andrine became the primary person of interest. His behavior only heightened suspicions. On March 2nd, an undercover investigator tailing him noticed damage to the McDonald's garage and saw Andrine drive to a gun shop, where he purchased a 9mm handgun and ammunition. Fearing he might harm himself, investigators confronted him in a dramatic takedown, turning him over to military authorities for a mental evaluation. A search warrant executed at the McDonald home uncovered a trove of evidence. In Andrine's car, investigators found a shovel, an axe, a hatchet, trash bags, gloves, and gas cans, items that suggested an attempt to dispose of evidence or a body. Inside a garbage can, they discovered a torn receipt from Lowe's, dated March 2nd, listing these items. Surveillance footage from the store showed Andrine purchasing them, his demeanor calm but purposeful. The footage was chilling, a man methodically gathering tools in the wake of his wife's disappearance. In the garage, investigators found a yellow claw hammer and clothing in a trash can. The clothing appeared to be Andrine's, with blood on the jeans pocket. Testing confirmed the blood on the hammer was Andrine's, with DNA matching her profile. Lead investigator Frank Stubbs concluded the hammer was likely the murder weapon. "This is significant," Stubbs said. "Very significant. The evidence was mounting, but without a body, proving a murder had occurred remained a formidable challenge." On March 3rd, after the Air Force released Andre, civil authorities arrested him for tampering with evidence based on the Lowe's receipt and purchased items. Andre stopped cooperating, his silence fueling suspicion. Sheriff Salazar went public, appearing on local television to appeal for information. "We are asking anybody with any information on her whereabouts to give us a call," he said. The San Antonio community responded with vigor. Volunteer search parties, led by former Air Force Airman Bobby Green, scoured wooded areas, fields, and remote locations. "We looked for tire tracks, broken branches, anything that might lead us to her," Bobby said. But weeks turned into months, and Andrine remained missing. A community's hope and heartbreak. The search for Andrine became a cause that united San Antonio. Her face appeared on posters across the city, with the word "missing" in bold letters. Supporters, including friends, family, and strangers, organized vigils and distributed flyers. Andrine's reputation as a generous, community-focused woman fueled the effort. "She was a rising star," one volunteer said. "She gave so much to this city." For Andrine's mother, Maureen, and sister, Cindy, the uncertainty was agonizing. "I called her phone 1,000 times, Cindy said. "I just wanted her to pick up." Investigators pursued every lead. They checked Andrine's credit cards and passport for activity, but found nothing. Her phone, the one missing item, was either powered off or destroyed. The lack of digital breadcrumbs was frustrating, but it also kept hope alive. "If they haven't found her body," Maureen said, "maybe she's still out there." But deep down, the evidence pointed to a darker truth. As the search continued, investigators delved deeper into the McDonald's relationship. They learned of business disputes that compounded their romantic tensions. Andrine's success had made her the public face of Starlight Homes, while Andre, despite his military achievements, felt overshadowed. Friends reported heated arguments over finances and control. One message from Andre to a friend read, "Someone is going to snap." The warning was prophetic. A gruesome breakthrough. On July 11, 2019, 133 days after Andrine's disappearance, a farmer named Clifton Clabandee made a chilling discovery in a field 6 miles from the McDonald home. While retrieving a cow skull, he spotted a human skull nearby. "It was a shock," he said. "I knew it was something serious." Authorities confirmed the skeletal remains belonged to Andrine McDonald. The news hit her family like a tidal wave. "I was at church, praying for her," Cindy said. "When they told me, I broke down." The discovery transformed the case into a homicide investigation. Andrine's remains showed severe injuries, a fractured spinal cord, a broken rib, and a split jaw, consistent with blunt force trauma. However, the body's exposure to the elements for over 4 months prevented the medical examiner from determining the exact cause of death. This ambiguity would pose a significant challenge for the prosecution. Less than 48 hours later, Andre was arrested and charged with murder. The prosecution, led by Assistant District Attorneys Stephen Spear, Lauren Scott, and Ryan Groomer, built their case around the physical evidence, the bloodstained hammer, the burn pile, and the Lowe's purchases. They theorized that Andre's motive was rooted in jealousy and emasculation. Andrine's success, coupled with her affair with Aubrey, had eroded his sense of control. He felt overshadowed, Spear said. Her star was rising, and he couldn't handle it. Andre pleaded not guilty, represented by top San Antonio defense attorneys John Connery, Zoe Russell, and John Hunter. They argued there was no evidence of envy or intent to kill, pointing to Andre's own success as a major in the Air Force. "He's incredibly accomplished," Connery said. "The idea that he was jealous doesn't hold up." A trial and a stunning confession. As the trial approached in January 2023, Andre broke his 4-year silence. Days before proceedings began, he called Andrine's mother and sister, claiming her death was an accident. He repeated the story to his mother, Jackie, leaving his defense team blindsided. "Shocking is a good word for it," Connery said. Cindy later viewed the call as a calculated attempt to deflect blame, a narrative crafted to sway the jury. The trial began with the prosecution laying out their case. They presented the bloodstained hammer, the burn pile with Andrine's blouse zipper, and the Lowe's surveillance footage. Forensic pathologist Dr. James Feig testified that Andrine's injuries were consistent with being struck by a blunt object, classifying her death as homicidal violence including blunt force trauma. After 6 days and 33 witnesses, the prosecution rested. The defense called one witness, Andrine McDonald. His testimony was a bombshell. He described the evening of February 28, 2019, when he discovered at the tax preparer's office that Andrine had started a new business without his knowledge. "It felt like she was robbing me," he said. Their argument continued via text and escalated at home, where he raised the possibility of divorce and splitting their business. He claimed Andrine became irate, spat in his face, and charged at him. In the struggle, he said their heads clashed, causing a cut on her face. When she attacked again in the bathroom, he tripped her and kicked her twice, hearing a wheezing sound after the second kick. Fearing Elena was awake, he left to put her back to bed. When he returned 30 minutes later, he said Andrine was dead. Andre admitted to dumping her body in the field, stripping her naked, and burning her clothes, which left the burn pile in the backyard. He also confessed to returning to the field before dawn, armed with the yellow hammer and gasoline. He poured gasoline on her body, set it ablaze, and struck her corpse multiple times, claiming anger at her for causing the situation. It was her fault, he said. The defense argued this was self-defense, portraying Andrine as a strong, aggressive woman who initiated the violence. They played videos of Andrine giving Andre a piggyback ride and lifting weights, emphasizing her physical prowess. A jury divided. The prosecution countered that Andre's actions, failing to call 911, disposing of the body, and desecrating Andrine's remains, were inconsistent with self-defense or an accident. "This is not self-defense," Spears said in closing. "It's time to hold him accountable." The defense insisted Andre acted in fear, urging the jury to find him not guilty. After 6 days of testimony, the jury deliberated for nearly 11 hours before announcing they were deadlocked. 6 jurors initially favored murder, which carried a life sentence, while 6 leaned toward manslaughter, with a maximum of 20 years. No one believed Andre was innocent or acted in self-defense. The debate hinged on intent versus recklessness. Juror Mary noted that Andre's testimony swayed some, as it was the only detailed account available. One juror, relating to Andre's claim of kicking without intent to kill, bolstered the manslaughter argument. The judge issued an Allen charge, urging reconsideration. After another hour, the jury reached a verdict, not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter. Andrine's family was devastated. Manslaughter after he showed no remorse? Cindy said. He burned her, stripped her, hit her with a hammer. That's crazy. The prosecution, though disappointed, noted the jury rejected self-defense. The defense viewed the outcome as a partial victory, respecting the jury's decision despite their belief in self-defense. A family's enduring pain. The verdict left Andrine's loved ones grappling with grief and disbelief. Sheriff Salazar offered a symbolic gesture, presenting the handcuffs used on Andre to Andrine's father, a retired Jamaican army member, as a token of justice. I wanted them to feel some connection to sending him away, Salazar said. For Maureen, nothing could fill the void left by her daughter's death. I miss her every day, she said. Sometimes, I feel like giving up. Andrine's legacy lives on through Elena, now 12, who is being raised by Maureen and Cindy. Elena reminds us so much of Andrine, Cindy said. She's our strength. Starlight Homes, once a symbol of Andrine's vision, has closed, its absence a reminder of her loss. Andre's mother, Jackie, remains part of the family, torn between love for her son and grief for Andrine. I hurt most for Elena, she said. No child should go through this. A light that still shines. Andrine McDonald's story is one of triumph and tragedy. From humble beginnings in Jamaica, she built a life of purpose, touching countless lives with her generosity and drive. Her disappearance captivated San Antonio, and the investigation revealed the complexities of a marriage undone by ambition, infidelity, and violence. While Andre's manslaughter conviction brought some accountability, it left Andrine's loved ones with lingering pain and unanswered questions. Elena remains the heart of her fractured family, a living testament to her mother's spirit. Maureen and Cindy draw strength from their bond and their commitment to her, ensuring Andrine's legacy endures. As San Antonio remembers a woman who gave so generously, her story serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of dreams and the devastating cost of betrayal. In the quiet moments, Andrine's light still shines, carried forward by those who loved her most.